sunny day, about 2-3 degrees at 7:34 at the airport this morning. Good morning, everyone. A Calgary journalist being remembered right now at the Field of Crosses along Memorial Drive. Michelle Lang was killed in December of 2009 while on assignment covering Canadian troops in Afghanistan. The 34-year-old was killed when the armored vehicle she was riding in hit a roadside bomb. The sunrise ceremony at the Field of Crosses just getting underway right now. Michelle Lang among those being honored with a flag-raising ceremony this morning. This is the 6th year for the Field of Crosses, which is located along Memorial Drive between Centre Street and 3rd Street Northwest. There are 3,200 white crosses here. They will stay here until Remembrance Day, November 11th. The U.S. Central Command is revealing details now about the first strike of Canada's air war over Iraq, even before Canadian officials are doing so. Defense Minister Rob Nicholson is expected to deliver a briefing on Sunday's bombing mission near Fallujah later today. U.S. officials say 4 strikes hit a large ISIS unit in the area where Canadian planes reportedly dropped their laser-guided bombs. 5 bulldozers and a dump truck destroyed during the 4-hour mission. Meantime, senior defense officials are scheduled to appear before a parliamentary committee today to discuss the effectiveness of Canada's combat mission in Iraq. A new ribbon decal will be showing up on city vehicles soon. The yellow, red, blue, and white ribbon honors first responders as well. The decal honors troops as well as police officers, firefighters, and paramedics. It comes just days before Remembrance Day and following the deadly attacks in Ottawa and outside of Montreal 2 weeks ago.
They looked after the needs, they looked after those who were there, so I think this makes it an opportune time to come forward and say, you know what, we support what you do, we support the traumatic events you go through.
The plan is to have the new ribbons on all 5,000 city vehicles. City employees can opt out if they want to not have the decals on their vehicles. Premier Jim Prentice meeting with his counterpart in BC, smoothing over a relationship that had turned frosty during the Alison Redford era. Premier Prentice meeting with BC Premier Christy Clark in Vancouver. The two premiers sitting down discussing several things, including the proposed Northern Gateway Pipeline project. Premier Clark says she still wants her 5 requirements met, and Prentice says they've agreed now to work together to get this pipeline built. Clark is offering praise for her new Alberta counterpart.
There hasn't been a premier in Alberta's history who has understood British Columbia's uniqueness as well as Premier Prentice does. He has done a lot of work in our province over the years as federal environment minister, as federal minister responsible for First Nations issues. He really understands what makes British Columbia unique.
I'm confident that we will have a warm relationship and a positive relationship that will be advantageous for both of our provinces.
Premier Jim Prentice says Clark invited him back during the Grey Cup week that's coming up, and he says he will make that trip. 7:37, time to focus on business. Prices for oil and gas both dropping like a rock. Business editor Mike Eppel joining us now. Mike, what is up with the price of crude and natural gas these days?
Well, Ted, I think people are in the energy sector specifically are getting out their pencil and erasers trying to recalculate what all of this means for not just energy production, but government coffers and the revenue generated from the oil patch, because the price for oil at the low this morning was below $76 per barrel, lowest in 3 years. It's stabilized just above 77 right now. But since, well, this time yesterday morning when Saudi Arabia announced a surprise to the market, they're actually cutting some of their export prices. They're not interested in cutting back on production. Apparently, it appears almost they want to flood the market right now and get some of the higher cost producers out of the way. There's an oversupply. We've been talking about that quite often over the past several weeks, and tomorrow we'll get the U.S. inventories update. But right now, the bears continue to maul through the oil sector, and we're seeing that result in lower wholesale gasoline prices as well. $2.05 per gallon, lowest in about 3 years, and dropping in the early New York trades. We're tracking the energy sector of stock at the TSX. It's also hitting the Canadian dollar, which is down to a 5-year low this morning. It's below 88 cents U.S. The exchange rate, $1.14. That is the posted exchange rate. Add a couple, if not 3 cents per transaction per dollar on exchange fees, and you're looking at $1.17, $1.18 to head to the States if you want to do that. It's getting more expensive. And we also have seen all of this filter into the energy and, or excuse me, the auto sector yesterday we had all of those big auto sales numbers out for October, and they were record-breaking in some cases. Big trucks and SUV sales are fast movers right now because it's cheaper to fill up. In the States, you're looking at less than $3 per gallon on average. Haven't seen that in several years. News and notes out of the banking industry this morning. Scotiabank cutting 1,500 jobs, 1,000 across the country here. From head office on down, a restructuring effort. They're cutting some branches as well in the international markets, the Caribbean, Venezuela, Mexico. WestJet Airlines in with record-breaking third quarter results, $1 billion in revenue. We'll hear from the company later today about how jet fuel costs have come down, and maybe that'll help their bottom line going forward. And worker productivity might be down a little bit today, Ted, because Rogers and Shaw have launched the Show Me video streaming service, and also we have Activision coming out with the latest Call of Duty, whatever number this is, Modern Warfare, but video games, it's $1 billion industry and a big seller for companies as well, like Best Buy and Future Shop and the electronics industry.
You have choices today, Mike. You can play a video game,
you
or
do.
you can
Many.
binge watch if you want.
Got to get a bathrobe, bag of Cheetos in the basement, right?
Yeah, there you go. All right, good stuff. Thanks,
Couch.
Mike. Business editor Mike Epple. You can hear Mike, by the way, on 660 News at 26 and 56 after the hour.